Oh, the post-game show. Terry Ford, appreciate you hanging out with us. Jalen's here steering the ship for us to make sure we stay on the air. We roll this baby up until 3 o'clock. No, it is 3 o'clock, up until 6 o'clock here on the game network. We go from 3 to 3, Jalen. It's a hell of a show. Well, thanks for being here.
A whole 12 hours, non-commercial and everything.
Or a whole 30 seconds, and we just play music and hit happy hour. One of the two.
We play the best of the game for 12
hours. those segments Dave cuts up, we'll just roll those babies and get out of here. All right. We got stuff going on here. We got Joey Logano in the other room doing a little video conversation with Tyler that we're going to have on our YouTube channel, and Tyler will repurpose that at some point near Darlington, I guess, when Darlington week comes up. But yeah, Joey Logano's in the building. We got that going on. It was good that Jalen walked right through that interview on video, so that was a good move by you. But Joey Logano's like, who the hell's that guy? Don't worry about it. He's with the radio side. Anyway, so today, Shane Beamer introducing the new special teams coach, Matthew Smiley. And look, this is not anything against Matthew Smiley, because obviously, when we carried it here on the game at noon, if in case you got a chance to listen, and we're going to play some cuts from the presser here in just a little bit that we have cut up. But I mean, look, the thing is, the media wanted to get to Shane Beamer and say, okay, Jacarius Peak, what the bleep is going on here?
Yeah, that was the biggest kind of takeaway we had over the weekend. Did this happen during the 3-on-3 basketball tournament that they had at the Coliseum? Did this happen during a workout? I saw it, and I was just like, he's definitely missing the Alabama game. He's definitely missing the heavy hitter games, but it's not season ending, which is a good sign for Carolina fans.
And look, I think we've all learned to sit back and just see how this thing plays itself out. The hope is dude is ready to rock and roll when the SEC schedule starts. No offense to Towson, a place I spent lots of times drinking in my young life, or these early season games. But you really, when the SEC gets going, that's when you want Jacarius Peak ready to rock and roll at left tackle. Everything else up until that time is, not to say whatever, but it's not as important as having Peak lining up the left tackle for the start of the SEC season. You should be able to win your cupcake games without him. You should. Bottom line is, you need him lining up when you're getting this thing going. When it's Kentucky, Mississippi State, Alabama, whatever, in that early season of SEC, you want Jacarius Peak ready. And we're going to get the cuts from Shane about the Peak situation, because it is important. And look, getting hurt playing hoops when you don't play hoops on scholarship will drive people crazy. Like if a college basketball player got hurt playing flag football. Yeah. You got a football player getting hurt playing basketball. And people, the first thing they say is, what are you doing? Right. Why is this guy playing? I get that. I do. I get it. And for an example, like in pro sports, in contract language, there's like, okay, no skydiving, no bungee jumping, no motorcycle riding, or whatever. No, whatever you're doing. You can't, if you have some kind of kooky hobby that could endanger your ability to play the sport they're paying you way too much money to play, they'll put it in your contract language. Jeff Kent had that happen. Jeff Kent played second base for the San Francisco Giants. He's going into the Hall of Fame for his offensive skills, not his defensive skills. And Kent got hurt. He hurt his hand. And he told the Giants he hurt it washing his car. Where it came out, he was riding a motorcycle, which is against what is in his contract language. So how'd you hurt your hand, Jeff? I was washing my car and I hit it on the antenna. Well, the truth was he was doing something that was against his contract language. So they put that stuff in professional contracts to where there's things you can't do. Now, to spin back to college, these NIL agreements are not professional. You're not an employee. So I don't know if you try to put an NIL deal, hey, man, you can't do this, this, or this per your NIL agreement. I don't even know if I could fly in court because they're not employees. But going back to the basketball thing, These guys play a lot. These guys play pickup basketball
a lot.
They play 3-on-3 in these tournaments a lot. First of all, it's great cardio in the off season. It is good. It's good for footwork. It's good for look. This stuff is good for a lot of reasons. But is there a risk for injury? Sure, there is. You know what else is a risk for injury? Weightlifting in the off season.
Yeah.
You know what else is a risk of injury? Running on a treadmill. I mean, you say, well, Terry, there's more risk playing basketball. Okay, possibly. I'm not going to disagree with you because you're running and moving and people are trying to block your shot and you're trying to block shots and you're rebounding and all this other mess. I get it. But, like, for an example, I mean, back in the old days when I used to play a lot of pickup basketball at a very low level, we would have dudes come in like, you'd have like college football players come play just to stay in shape in the off season, run down the court and get cardio.
Mm-hmm.
And we had a guy that played football at Virginia Tech, and this dude would throw down dunks that would shake the entire gym. I mean, it was filthy. It's like, oh, God, here comes Keith going for a dunk. Everybody get out of the way. You could obviously go to the hospital when the ball came through the hoop. But we would have college football players. You would have even dudes who like played professional ball like overseas because their seasons are different, and they come over just to run to stay in shape. You'd get guys from different sports who just want to, because basketball is great cardio.
Mm-hmm.
And so a lot of guys would play hoops to stay in shape. And that's, look, when someone gets hurt, it sucks. And it does bring up all these questions of why this and that. But to be fair, and look, we weren't there when he got hurt. I don't know how he got hurt. I don't know what happened to him in the moment when he got hurt playing. But, and I know the people, and we even put it on a Twitter poll. First thing people say, there's that chicken curse again. They say we're cursed. You got this left tackle. He's the crown jewel of your transfer portal class. He's looked at as the second best left tackle coming through the portal. He's a guy that most likely is going to be drafted in the first 3 rounds or first whatever, and he gets hurt playing pickup basketball.
Mm-hmm.
This is, and I've already heard it from people, this is Gamecock luck. Because it's kind of just bad luck that the guy gets hurt. I mean, how many guys were playing ball that day?
Yeah.
And this guy, if you made a list of players, let's say you and I made a list of the top 5 players that can't get hurt for South Carolina in 2026.
I would not have Peak up there.
Jakarius Peak would be, he'd be on the list because you can't have him get hurt. He's quite vital, right? You meant don't want to get hurt.
Yeah, right.
You don't want him he's on that list of guys you don't want to get hurt. Mm-hmm. You need him. And who gets hurt? That guy. So I understand it. I do. It is, but guys, so many guys play pickup ball.
Yeah. Now it's given an opportunity to have a measuring stick to the other left tackles that are kind of like in the need to replace him to get better during the spring practice, to come for Shane Bieber to rely on. You got Kent State, Towson, and Mississippi State at home. Then the real test is Alabama on the road. Yeah,
I look at it this way. You have to get these guys ramped up just in case, God forbid, Peak isn't ready when you hope he's going to be ready.
Yeah.
Because, again, we don't know. We just know it's a quote-unquote lower body injury. There's been some rumors and whispers about the knee or whatever. Again, we don't have confirmation, so I'm not going to sit here and say this is it. Because we're not going to sit here and say, well, we think it's this because we heard this. But it's a lower body injury, and they are confident he'll be ready to go in September. That's what they said, September. We hope. Again, sometimes everything goes according to plan and they are ready. Sometimes you have setbacks.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're ready, but they're not 100% and they're rusty and blah, 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 blah.
Well, it's February now, so it's like he has a little bit of
March,
time
April,
to.
May, June, July.
Yeah.
We got like 6 months.
So is it?
Maybe
it's probably significant if it's taking him till the end of September to get back.
So I mean, yeah,
from what I'm assuming,
it's just the idea that you can't. And they're not. I'm not telling them something they don't know. They're not sitting around going, well, Tara, we never thought of this. But you're going to have to get other guys ramped up just in case Jakarius Peak is not ready when you're hoping he's going to be ready. Whether it's some of the guys you brought in through the portal, whether it's Josiah Thompson getting another crack at left tackle, whatever it is, you got to get some guys some reps to get ready just in case the doomsday scenario, the Peak isn't set to rock and roll.
Yeah.
Does this suck? Absolutely.
It does.
I'm not going to lie to you. Like, I didn't grow up here, as a Gamecock fan my whole life. I mean, I've been here. This is my 5th year. Yeah, exactly.
It feels like you've been here for like 10.
Some days it feels like 20. When you're up in the office on the 19th floor, you're like, my God. But, I mean, honestly, I went like this. Oh, bleep. I did. I was like, Really?
Yeah,
this really had to happen?
And Twitter, I've been looking all over Twitter, and Twitter was like, we can never catch a break. Like, Will Gunther said, this is the worst 10-month swing that Carolina fans have experienced.
And that's the other part of this that just adds to it is football team last year 4-8.
Yeah.
Back-to-back awful seasons for men's basketball. Baseball had one of the worst seasons in the history of a proud program.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all in this calendar year. And so, look, honestly, and I'm not saying this is everyone, but there's a percentage of this fan base that is just, I'm done. I'm over them. I'm sick of this.
Yeah.
There is very little patience for anything right now.
Yeah.
There just isn't. Now, if you're coming off, let's say if South Carolina football is coming off that 9-3 season, and this happens, there are going to be people going, "Why is this guy playing basketball?" Blah blah. But you're not as annoyed, angry, whatever you're feeling that's negative, because you came off of something good, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when you've been getting hit in the face constantly with bad stuff besides women's basketball, the men's sports have, really, since South Carolina had that 9-win season in football in 2024, it's been nothing but bleh on the men's side. Because men's basketball, I'm trying to draw on top of my head, 24-25. This is 25. Yeah, 24-25. You went in 25. Yeah, you had a rough year. And then you backed up with another rough year. And then what happened with the baseball team, which nobody saw coming.
Yeah, nobody did.
And you're just like, fans are just like, enough of this. This is ridiculous. And I get it. I do. So we'll play some cuts from Shane, talk about the peak injury and the basketball side of everything.
The good news is they did get a special teams coordinator.
Yes, Matthew Smiley. And real quick, look, here's the thing about Matthew Smiley. Here's what I like about Matthew Smiley. He's coached from like Division 10 to the NFL. He has been coaching on the offensive side of the ball, defensive side of the ball, special teams. He's run the gambit. And it's good to have a guy with a versatile skill set. Mm-hmm. As being the special teams coordinator, his 3 years in Buffalo in the NFL, they had one really good year with their special teams, one solid year with their special teams, and one bad year with their special teams. So it was a mixed bag. And we'll see what Matthew Smiley can bring to the table as a special teams coordinator at South Carolina. Joe D, I thought the special teams were solid to good last year. The year before, they were uneven in Joe D's first season. Pete Limbo's last year, they were pretty good, but they weren't wow. The year before that, they were arguably the best in America. Mm-hmm. So the special teams here typically is above average at the very least. And you want to obviously at least be above average. You don't want special teams to hurt you. Obviously, you want your special teams to help you win games, but you don't want your special teams to help you lose games.
I agree.
And I like some of the comments that Smiley had during the presser, and we'll get to those as well. So we have a lot to do here in our little shindig. We'll get some Shane Beamer stuff about the Jacarius Peak injury next, and we'll get kind of a little bit more of that conversation when we get back. It is the post-game show. Jalen's punching the buttons. Terry Ford, appreciate you hanging. We're rolling until 6 here on The Game Network, and our little YouTube channel at The Game TV Radio. (803-875-MENS). That's the Men's Clinic of South Carolina. Look, if you're just not feeling right as you're getting older and you're a guy, what does it hurt to go find out what could be going on with you? You're not as strong at the gym as you used to be. You don't feel good after workouts. It takes days to get yourself feeling right again. Maybe you're not sleeping, you're forgetting stuff, you have no drive in life, professionally, personally, whatever. It might be low testosterone. Maybe it's some other things that are causing this issue. Just go find out. 803-875-MENS. It doesn't hurt to have a free confidential consultation at the Men's Clinic of South Carolina. Talk with those folks. Tell them your story. They'll do a free testosterone test on you. If it comes back low T, they'll put you on a program that's specifically designed to get you back to feeling you again. Men's Clinic of South Carolina, 803-875-MENS. All right, post-game show. Jalen's here, Terry Ford. We got this baby going up until 6 here on the Game Network. Columbia, Charleston, Florence, Myrtle Beach. Also, Game TV Radio on YouTube. All right, a little housekeeping real quick before we move on to some Shane Beamer. The Spring Golf Classic at Charwood, April 3rd. Got it going. You call Charwood, 803-755-2000. You press 2 to register, $400 a team. You start off the morning to get you a little loosened up. Besides, the practice, the practice tees and stuff. Also, you got Saki's Morning Libations Bar. That'll get you loose. Also, the classic, the famous, the legendary onion sausage provided by the Lexington Gamecock Club. And my favorite part of this whole tournament, the golf gun.
That sounds fun.
Oh, the golf gun's so much fun. What happens is, again, if you've never seen the golf gun, we set it up at a hole. And instead of teeing off, your tee shot is this golf gun. And you line it up, and you pull the trigger, and this thing shoots 300 yards. It is massively cool. I could, honest to God, sit and just shoot the golf gun all day. I'm telling you now, I could golf gun the entire day. That's how much fun the golf gun is to me. So we have that going on. It's 803-755-2000. Charwood, you press 2 for the clubhouse, and they will get you set up. April 3rd, that's a Friday, by the way, our Spring Golf Classic at Charwood with our buddies Rock and Daniel Lewis. All right, so Shane Beamer talking to the media, introducing the new special teams coordinator, Matthew Smiley. We'll get to Matthew stuff. Matthew, no offense. It's nothing against you, man. We're going to get to you. It's just like the football coach talking about an injury to a major component to the offense for 2026. It's kind of a big deal. All right, let's get Shane first. Starting off, this is cut 9, Jalen, about Jakarius Peek's injury.
We did have an injury last week to Jakarius Peek. Unfortunate, certainly. He will miss spring practice. He will not be fully cleared in the summertime, but we fully anticipate him being ready to roll when September rolls around. He's in great spirits. Just communicated with him before I walked in here, and knows that this is an opportunity for him to be even better as a player, mentally, physically, as we go into the 2026 season. Yes, he did sustain his injury playing basketball, the same 3-on-3 basketball tournament that we've done 3 years in a row now.
Yeah, it's just, again, that's the thing. It's like, you haven't heard of an injury in this at all, and then it happens, and it happens to a vital cog in your offense. And it does. It stinks in every way possible. So first, let's kind of take a step back here. On the roster, obviously, you have Josiah Thompson. You also have Northern Arizona left tackle Seth Smith. Started 25 games at left tackle the past 2 years at Northern Arizona and New Mexico State. I'm sorry, at Northern Arizona. Armando Nieves started 10 games at New Mexico State last year at left tackle. Dane Arnett out of Ferris State also played left tackle.
Yeah, and then you got Emmanuel Poku as well.
I mean, you'd rather probably have him inside a guard, but at the end of the day, he has played different spots on the offensive line. You have some youngins coming in, but you really don't want to you had a freshman at left tackle 2 years ago in Josiah Thompson. You only want to put a freshman at left tackle if he wins the job.
Right.
Like he goes out there and just crushes it, where you have to start him. And Josiah Thompson won the job 2 years ago. Problem was last year, Josiah Thompson just was not very good.
No.
He regressed in every way, shape, or form, and that's why you went out and got Jakarius Peek, and Josiah Thompson hit the portal. And then Thompson came back through the portal, and the goal was to have Peek start at left tackle, and maybe Josiah Thompson can, transition to right tackle. But now with the unknown on Peek, and again, Shane says they feel very confident he'll be ready to rock and roll in September. I hope he can be. If not, that's some of the options. As we move forward, is Seth Smith, Armando Nieves, Dane Arnett, maybe Josiah Thompson. And these are the options just in case you don't have Jakarius Peek ready to go. And look, I could see him not playing the first 2 games. I could absolutely see it. Because again, you're playing teams you should be able to beat without him. That gives him 2 more weeks to get himself together, right? But it would be great by Mississippi State, you're ready to go. Because that's the start of the SEC season. So definitely you want him for Bama. There's no doubt. All right, here's also Shane. Now, look, like I said in the opening riff of the show when Jalen and I were shooting the crap about this whole thing, a lot of folks hit, social media or, I guess, message boards, and they basically, why is this guy playing? Why are they having a 3-on-3 tournament? Why is this guy playing basketball? What are we doing? And here's Shane kind of defending the team activities in the offseason, like the 3-on-3 tournament? Hit it.
I asked our players after the 2023 season, what are some things that we need to do differently, or what are some things that you guys want to do more of so we can have the team that we want to be? And the number one thing the players told me after the 23 season was they wanted to do more activities like that, competitive team bonding activities outside of the football building. I asked our players after the 24 season, when I met with each of them individually after the season, what do you guys think was the difference in the 23 season and the 24 season? And the players told me after the 24 season that the team bonding activities like 3-on-3 basketball were one of the primary reasons that we had the success that we had in 2024, because we were closer as a team. So you can't be the last 2 years when the videos went out on social media talking about how awesome it is that the Gamecocks and the football team have such a strong culture and they play basketball together and that's awesome. You can't be the person that's celebrating it 2 years ago or the last 2 years, and then this year you're up on the front porch screaming, why are they playing basketball? I mean, I get it, and you open yourself up to criticism, but it's a big part of what we do here in this program. We'll continue to look at how we do things going forward. There's no question about it.
Look, I think, here's me. I understand, again, addressing the basketball tournament because Pete got hurt. They've been doing it for a few years, and this is the first time we've had an injury like this. And I guess with Shane, it's like, I always say this. The guy's great with the media. He's great with us, and we appreciate him. He's on this radio station. Heck, he calls in sometimes. We appreciate the relationship we have with Shane Beamer. I would love to say to Shane Beamer, hey, bro, don't read social media
at all.
Just don't. Don't look at it. Don't read it. Just don't. I was talking to somebody upstairs today. We were having a conversation about it, and social media. It's like. In this world we have about 10% of people who just are unhappy and angry and are critical and are screaming and yelling for whatever their reason. And that's what they do. The other 90% of us are like sane. Or maybe I'll move myself out of it. But 90% of the people in this world are sane. And aren't screaming and yelling and critical about everything and fire everybody all the time. Everybody sucks and I hate everything and I hate everyone. And I just can't wait to find something I can go take a dump on. You're always going to have people who are going to be critical. That's just life. Whether you're a football coach, you work at a radio station, a TV station, you could be coaching youth basketball in Peoria, Illinois, and some adult is going to be taking a crap on your coaching skills if you lose a game because they have no life. You just don't look at it, man.
Because that's the outside noise,
right? And
you got to be locked in and consistent on the season and whatnot.
Just do what's best for your program. If you believe playing a 3-on-3 basketball tournament is good for your culture and bonding, and guys are getting good cardio, and yeah, you had a guy get hurt, and he's obviously very important. And if you want to reevaluate because of that, that's fine. But don't reevaluate because 5 yahoos on social media or a message board are screaming and yelling about, you should be fired for having that tournament. It's just whatever, man.
Yeah.
Just whatever. It stinks. It sucks. It's bad luck.
I wonder if he's going to reconsider of having this tournament next year.
But I hope if he is, it's because he's going to say, hey, let's do something else that has a lesser percentage of injury or lesser percentage of something could happen. I hope he's going to reevaluate it because of that. Mm-hmm. That's the reason you reevaluate it, to be honest. Not because, 3 people hit you on Facebook and yelled at you.
Yeah.
Or whatever. All right, we'll pop back in here. We will hear from the new special teams coach, Matthew Smiley, some of his thoughts on coaching teams. That's next here on the postgame show. Jalen's here, Terry Ford, rolling up until 6 here on the Game Network, and our cool little YouTube channel at the Game TV Radio. Post-game show, Terry Ford, Jalen Tard hanging out with you. Talked to Jay today. Jay is he's doing as well as expected. He's hanging in there. He gave me a nice long 15-minute riff on how awesome the U.S. hockey team's Olympic victory was on Sunday. I'm going to try to get him in with us at some point soon. Hop on the air, just say hey. But again, successful surgery. He's back at home, rehabilitating, resting. And again, we appreciate all the good words, the wishes, the prayers, the thoughts. Thank you very much as Jay is working his way, into the rehab process after the surgery. Again, everything was successful, so that's a very good thing. All right, so Matthew Smiley introduced to the media today. Shane Beamer introducing him. Smiley took the podium after Shane answered some questions. And here is Matthew Smiley. Let's go to. Let's grab cuts. Let's go to cut 3 real quick, because Smiley has been an assistant through the years, and then he was a full-blown. He's been a coordinator. He was a coordinator 3 years in Buffalo, special teams coordinator. He was a coordinator in college, I think, for a year. So here is Smiley talking about the difference between being an assistant and a full coordinator. Cut 3, Jalen.
Yeah, I think it's always funny before you get that first opportunity, whether it's a coordinator or a head coach. When you're the assistant, you have all the answers, and then when you're the coordinator, you're like, okay, this is there's more that goes into it than you think. I remember my first boss at Buffalo, the coordinator, Danny Crossman, and then Heath Farwell was the guy that I replaced when he left Buffalo. And I remember laughing with Heath. We're still close. And saying to Heath, oh, I get it now. Because there was times I wanted him to fight battles. I wanted him to, hey, we got to do this, we got to do that. And then once you switch chairs and switch offices, it definitely becomes more clear that there's a lot more that comes into it. So to answer your question, I think anytime you get promoted in any field, you're going to have a learning curve that you got to have humility through and make sure you keep learning.
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's a difference. Now, as the coordinator, you're in charge. You're not the assistant anymore. And again, Smiley's time in Buffalo, it was a mixed bag, a really good year, a solid year, and a bad year, and he was let go after the bad year, which was the third year. And then he went to Penn State and hung out. His daughter was going to Penn State, and he got a chance to kind of like hang out as an analyst with the staff. And he got to see his daughter, have lunch with her once a week, he was talking about today. So it is different, obviously. When you're the assistant, you're maybe giving advice to the coordinator. The coordinator kind of tells you his philosophy and what he wants to do and what he wants you to do to help out, and you do it. When you're the coordinator, you're the dude in the chair in charge. It's obviously different. Let's also grab this one. This is cut 4. What does a player need to do to be successful on special teams? Let's cut 4, Jalen.
I think first and foremost, every play matters. So on special teams, your ops are limited because you have more or you have less plays during the game, but then you also have plays that could be a touchback on kickoff or kickoff return that may not be an opportunity to flip the field. So when your chance to affect the game shows up, every play matters, and I'm always ready to make that play. So that mental toughness of the special teams players, that every time I take that field on a special teams play, this could be the play that flips the balance, that gives us a chance to win the game. But that has to be the mindset. There's no plays off. I got to make sure that I'm ready to be my best and compete whatever phase it is when I take the field for special teams.
Good philosophy.
Yeah.
I can change the game.
He says every play matters. So he believes that one play could change everything in the game.
Sure.
So I like this, mindset from Smiley for him to say something like that.
It's because it does. You never know when someone can make a big play to change a game.
Yep.
You never know. And every play does matter. Kurt Signetti has that, your mindset is every 6 seconds. A play lasts 6 seconds and you go to the next play. That one's over. You go to the next play. And you want to do the best you can on each play. You look at each play instead of the totality of a game where you're on the field for 70 plays or whatever. No, it's a series of one play. One play. Now you go to the next play. You do your job and do your best. Next play, do your job and do your best. Don't think about what just happened. Focus on the next play. And you hear that a lot with coaches. It's just like, next play, next play, next play, next game, next opponent. And so to that point of what Matthew Smiley says, look, every time you run on the field could be the biggest play of the game. Treat it like it could be the biggest. Treat it like it is the biggest play of the game.
Yeah.
And it is that is a hell of a mindset to have. Every play could be the play that changes the game or wins the game. And you got to look at it that way. The thing with Smiley's resume, again, he played his college football in Illinois, and then his career history as an assistant at Dartmouth in 2005, assistant quarterbacks and specialist coach who was working with the quarterbacks and the kickers and punters. Then in 2006 in Dartmouth, he became special teams coordinator. At Eureka in 2007, you say, Terry, where's Eureka? I don't know. I just know there's a vacuum cleaner made by Eureka. That
Or if you get a random thought in your head and that's what you say.
Eureka! So he was at Eureka in 2007 as the OC. Then ready for this, 2008, he was the defensive coordinator. So this guy, starting in 2005, between 2005 and 2008, was a special teams coordinator, an offensive coordinator, and a defensive coordinator. Then he got to Eastern Illinois from 2009 to 2011. He was running backs coach and special teams coordinator. Charleston Southern, running backs coach, special teams coordinator. Then he got to Jacksonville, got to the NFL from Charleston Southern, which is an interesting jump. Was assistant special teams coordinator and running backs coach. Then assistant special teams coordinator in Buffalo from 17 to 21. Then took over as special teams coordinator from 22 to 24. That's a resume, man. That is a serious resume. Now, how is it going to work itself out in South Carolina? I don't know. But I like the resume. Think about this, too. Or you lose your special teams coordinator after the college hiring cycle is over.
And Deacon Mills was really good. He was a solid special teams coordinator.
And then he goes off back to the NFL.
Yep.
And you're like, oh, my God, we need a coordinator. So you find a guy with this resume who has been a special teams coordinator in the NFL, also at 2 different places in college, and he's available. This is probably the best you could do given the situation you were in. To find a guy with this lengthy of a resume, with this variety of coaching skills, who's available, who just coming off of a 3-year stint from 22 to 24 as a special teams coach. So really, you were in kind of a clunky spot, and you found the guy with this resume. So in the position you were in the time frame and timetable, you probably could have done much better. And we'll see how it works itself out. All right, we got to open the vault here in a minute. Don't forget, though, the Crescent Construction Grand Slam contest. If a Gamecock hitter goes yard with the bases loaded, you can win cash. Pot goes up $25 every game. It's sponsored by Crescent Construction. Go to 1075thegame.com to register. Right now, the pot's at $200. 8 games. 8 times 25, 200. I did it on my phone. Again, go to 1075thegame.com to register. And, of course, your next chance to win, that will be tomorrow night as South Carolina hosts Queens. That's right here on 1075 The Game, 6:15 pregame, 6:30 first pitch. We'll jump back in. Time to crack open the vault. Some interesting stuff happened in history. And someone passed away today. It was in a movie that young Terry Ford really enjoyed. We'll get to that next here on the postgame show. Terry, Jalen, till 6 on the Game Network, and at the Game TV radio and YouTube. Post-game show, time to open the vault. And the vault's pretty interesting today. Some stuff that is like, wow. So we're going to get to it. And we have one unfortunate passing of a guy who was in one of young Terry Ford's favorite movies. And we'll get to that here in a few minutes as well in the vault. We'll start off with our sports history, and then we'll get to the actor who unfortunately passed away. All right. On this day, there's a lot of stuff today. 1967, Wilt Chamberlain goes 18 for 18 from the field against the Baltimore Bullets, an NBA record for field goals in a game without a miss. Again, Wilt was a freak, a physical freak ahead of his time. Yeah, there weren't as many big men in the NBA as there are now, obviously, but Wilt was ridiculous. 7 foot tall, stupid athletic, and just the stats on Wilt Chamberlain, it's almost like video game stuff. It's just ridiculous. And that's one of them, 18 of 18 in a game. In 1978, Kevin Porter, the New Jersey Nets, set an NBA record with 29 assists in a win over the Houston Rockets, 29 dimes by Kevin Porter. This day in 1980, we were talking about this yesterday, but this day in 1980, the United States won the gold medal in men's hockey with a 4-2 win over Finland. Interesting part of that was Herb Brooks basically told his team, after beating the Russians, you still haven't won the gold medal. And one of his great speeches, well, you see the Kurt Russell speech before the game with the Soviets in the movie Miracle, and Herb Brooks, that was basically taken from the Herb Brooks speech of, they might beat us 9 times out of 10, but not today. It's a phenomenal speech. Herb Brooks gave another speech they talk about all the time before the Finland game, and they said Herb Brooks never cussed, but he did cuss in the speech. He said, if you lose today, you'll take this to your bleeping graves.
Try about the Finland Rivers.
Game. Yeah, it's like the Finland game. And the U.S. was down after the first period, if my memory serves me, against Finland, then came back, beat the Finns, and won the gold medal. But they did not win the gold medal by beating the Russians. That just advanced them, and they played Finland for the gold medal. They beat Finland to win the gold. 1982, Wayne Gretzky scores his NHL record 78th goal. Gretzky that year scored 92 goals. Eventually, he had a 100-goal season. Again, another one. Wayne Gretzky's numbers are filthy. Just, if you look at those numbers, you go, that can't be real. Oh, they're real. He was unbelievable. Another record on this day in 1985, Jim Kelly. Before Jim Kelly played in the NFL for the Buffalo Bills, he played for the Houston Gamblers of the USFL. Kelly threw for USFL record 574 yards on this day and 5 touchdowns. In a come-from-behind win over the LA Express, who I believe was quarterbacked by Steve Young, the LA Express. Anyway. And let's see. Oh, there's another one here. Lipscomb's John Pierce, Lipscomb University. John Pierce becomes college basketball's career scoring leader with 4,110 points. That broke his former roommate Phil Hutchison's record of 4,106. Lipscomb was his team that played super fast, chucked a ton of shots, scored a lot of points. And one Lipscomb guy had the career record, and then another Lipscomb guy broke it. They were roommates. Very interesting. All right, and let's get this one because this is good stuff here. 2018, the United States wins the Olympic gold medal in men's curling in a huge upset of Sweden. That curling is, they had the big controversy this year with the double touching and all that other stuff, but that curling, it's wild. You're just kind of sweeping ice. I don't know the rules. I don't understand it, but it's kind of cool to watch.
I like the physics behind it and, the anticipation. It seems very interesting. That's something I would not do because I don't skate on ice. I will fall and bust my behind.
Same here, man. I can't ice skate. I roller skated a ton when I was a kid. We used to go to Skateland. I don't know if they had Skatelands around here.
We did. Yes, we do.
We used to go to Skateland, and I did that for all through middle school, junior high. I went to Skateland. As soon as I got to high school and got my license, Skateland was over. But I used to go all the time in middle school.
I'm a bowler.
Yeah, we were bowlers. I love skating. I did bowling when I was really young. I think I've told the story on the air. I was doing in the Mid-Atlantic, they have a thing called duck pin bowling and 10-pin bowling. They have duck pins and 10 pins. 10 pins is what you guys like, everybody does, putting your fingers in the ball and bowling it. Duck pins is a little ball you can hold in your hand, and the pins are smaller, and you bowl the little ball at the little pins. Well, I was bowling in a league, and I was like maybe, I don't know, 11 years old, 12 years old. I was in this duck pin league, right? And we were in the playoffs, and I bowled like third. And I needed to get a spare or a strike because we were behind, right? And we needed a couple of marks, and so I had to get a spare or strike. And in 10 pins when you chop.
Yep.
Well, I chopped. I threw this ball right down the middle. Looked like I was going to at least get 8, 9 pins and be set up for a spare. That bleeping thing chopped. And I was young. I had a little temper. And I grabbed the next ball and I chucked it overhand. The sound that ball made when it hit the lane, and they threw me out immediately. So I was out. They again, the season was over, but they wouldn't let me come back the next year either. They basically suspended me for the next year for throwing a duck pin bowling ball overhand down the lane. So, yeah, then I started bowling 10 pins for a year or two. But, yeah, I did a little bowling back in the day. But anyway, all right, so that's today in history. All right, very, very sad note.
Yep.
Robert Carradine died today at the age of 71. Robert Carradine was one of the main actors in the movie Revenge of the Nerds, a movie young Terry Ford loved and giggled because it was so wrong and so inappropriate, and the young me loved it. Here's a quick cut from Revenge of the Nerds.
Dawson, Dudley,
Call me Booger.
excuse please, but why do they call you Booger?
And while the one character's asking why they call him Booger, he's got almost his whole hand up his nose. Picking his nose. That movie, again, if you saw it and you're of the same age group and you saw Revenge of the Nerds, you know what I'm talking about. It was so wrong, so inappropriate, and so funny all at the same time. I would probably today watch that movie and giggle some because that movie was just so wrong. It was so wrong. Robert Carradine was one of the two main nerds. The other main nerd was Anthony Edwards, who you know from ER. Not that guy.
Not that Anthony.
Not that Anthony Edwards. This Anthony Edwards was one of the main characters on ER for years, and also was in Top Gun. He was one of the two nerds, along with Robert Carradine. Robert Carradine passing away at the age of 71. Robert, I hope you're in a nice big nerd group in the sky, enjoying yourself, my man. So, yeah, Robert Carradine for Revenge of the Nerds passing away. All right, 4 o'clock hour. We'll get back to some more sound from Shane Beamer, the new special teams coach, Matthew Smiley. That's next here on the Postgame Show. CHW Cabinetry. Our friend Star and her crew, fine work from beginning to end. They have those photorealistic renderings, which, again, it's total transparency. The job from beginning to end, you get to see everything that's going on. They hold your hand with the best customer service through it all, through the ups and the downs. The craftsmanship is phenomenal. The customer service, top notch. Just call them. 803-520-6837. Set up an appointment. Go in. Tell them what you want to do when it comes to cabinetry, and they will make it happen for you. Tell them, look, I got this certain budget. They will fit in what you need in your budget. Again, 803-520-6837. Set up an appointment. They're just right down on 2 Notch in Lexington. CHW Cabinetry. Fine customer service. Fine quality work. CHW Cabinetry. Post-game show with Terry Ford, Jalen here steering the ship, punching the buttons, controlling the air for us. We appreciate you hanging with us, whether it's on at the Game TV radio on YouTube or the Game Network, 107.5 The Game here in Columbia, or any of the other markets that we're in. We appreciate you hanging out with us. Thank you very much. Shane Beamer talking to the media today and introducing the new special teams coach, Matthew Smiley. And, Shane talking about a couple different things. One of the we played the cut about the Jacarius Peak injury, and also Shane basically kind of defending the team's 3-on-3 basketball competition where Pete got hurt. So we got into that in the first hour of the show again. Does it stink Pete got hurt? Sure. It does. Is it bad luck? Yes. Is it just another thing to pile on all the things that we've seen here since, the end of the 2024 regular season? Since that victory against Clemson in the upstate, it seems like everything has gone. And there's another thing to add to the list, right? And I get the patience of this fan base. There is no patience left. They're tired. They want wins. They want W's. They want success. They're sick of all this. I understand. I'd feel the same way. I'd be like, what are we doing here? Let's fix this thing. Let's get it all fixed. Men's basketball, football, baseball, let's get this stuff fixed.
They want the men to join the party with the women. I mean, the women are having a great time. Softball is doing really good.
I mean, you look over the last few years, you've had obviously Dawn doing Dawn things with the women's basketball program. Softball last year almost got to Omaha in the women's World Series. You've had other women's sports be successful here, like soccer. I mean, and while that's going on, the men are stumbling and bumbling all over the place. And again, great for the women, fantastic. But most people look and say, wow, your athletic department.
The men need love too, like LL Cool J said. Look.
Not to be mean, football is the front porch. Football, There's two sports that turn a profit in college athletics: football and men's basketball. Mm-hmm. And right now, South Carolina is coming off a 4-8 football season and back-to-back disasters for men's basketball.
Yeah.
3 out of the last 4 years have been disasters. So, and then you throw in baseball, which no one ever thought would be a disaster. And you had that last year. So, again, I get it. Fan base not in a good mood. I don't blame you. And then you have this Peak injury during a 3-on-3 basketball competition / basketball tournament that, the Gamecocks are having, that they do as part of their offseason the last few years. And the thought is, because you're so frustrated, why in God's name are they playing pickup basketball in a 3-on-3 tournament when they're football players? Doesn't anybody know that people can get hurt?
Yeah.
And I understand. But, you can get hurt jogging. You can get hurt lifting weights. You can get hurt
getting out of the
sprints, going to the bathroom, brushing your teeth, doing plyometrics. You can get hurt doing anything physical. You just can. Sometimes, there's guys blowing their Achilles walking down the hall, right? So, it's just this is just crappy luck. We're one of the most valuable guys on your roster.
Yep.
And it's just, but here's what it is. It's another thing to things. If you've ever been in a relationship where you're getting so frustrated, everything makes you mad.
Yeah.
Like everything. I've been the person causing it, so I know. But you just get to that point where, will you please
leave me
do
alone?
Me a favor? What? Stop breathing. Your breathing is annoying the heck out of me. Just everything bothers you. Mm-hmm. Nothing is right. If they talk to you, it's wrong. If they don't talk to you, it's wrong. It's just that's where some of the fan base is about men's sports right now here. Mm-hmm. They're done. Like, they're upset and they're done and they're not happy and they're frustrated with the records and they're frustrated with the losing, and then you get this happening, and then it's like, really? Seriously? I understand. I do. This is just, and saying it's bad luck and it's just awful and whatever does not make it any better. I know.
Yeah, the people in the chat and on the YouTube channel are agreeing that it's terrible. They're fed up. Like,
and I don't blame them, because I know. Heck, we sit here and talk about it every day.
Right.
We sit around here going, oh, jeez, we gotta have more doom and gloom, and you can only put you get to a point where, look, one thing we try to do here is be objective. Are we the home of the Gamecocks? Sure we are. Are we going to sit here and be nasty about them? Absolutely not. But we're going to be objective and honest. If they're bad, we're going to tell you they're bad.
Yeah, we're going to call it straight down. We're going to call it how we see it.
Well, gee golly, they lost by 30, but man, there was a couple of really nice hoops they made. No, we're going to say this losing is unacceptable and something has to change. And we've said it about football, about men's basketball, and about baseball. We've said, look, you got a lot of hot seats in Columbia right now.
Yeah.
Look, again,
burning hot seats.
Look, like I said, we love Shane. He's on a hot seat. Love Lamont, nice guy. He's on a hot seat. Paul Maneri's a Hall of Famer. Had a really nice conversation with Paul on the air yesterday. He's on a hot seat. There are hot seats here. We don't shy away from that. We talk about it.
Yep.
And so we sit here every day and have to go, all right, we got to talk about another loss. And it does. It's like I mean, we like to see some good stuff too, so we can
praise it.
The best thing we've had to talk about lately is the U.S. Olympic hockey team winning gold.
And the way that they did it.
Yeah, I mean, we're sitting here going, hey, something good. Let's do it. And so it's really, I understand. I do. I understand where the patience is. There is none anymore. There's none. And this is just another thing.
My thing, too, I'll weigh in, how will the offense as a whole look now without Peak, with them practicing in the spring, the summer, and leading up to the season opener against Kent State? Yeah,
I mean, it does stink because this guy, is going to protect Lenoir's blind side. He's going to help you bust holes in the run game. You're running a different type of offense. It's going to be more fast-paced. It's got tempo. And you were hoping to have this guy, a high-quality left tackle, as your key piece of your offensive line. Now you don't. I guess it's going to be, your first goal is to run your offense, not change anything. Now, if you get out there and start running stuff without Peak and you see the left tackle position is an issue, now you're going to have to adjust, obviously. And, you'll be obviously not having, it doesn't seem like you're going to have a spring game. So in your spring practices, you're going to have to see, okay, what are our left tackles doing? In your scrimmages, what are our left tackles doing? And then at the end of the spring practice, you're going to have to reevaluate and go, okay, we want to run our offense. We don't want to change and tweak stuff because our left tackle position is a problem. So you're trying not to have to do that. And then once you get to game situations, if your left tackle, if it's not Peak to start the year and your left tackles are getting whooped, now you've got to help them out with doubles, with chipping, with leaving backs in to help you, leaving extra protection. So you don't want to get to that point where you're having to make concessions because your left tackle position is a problem.
Yeah.
You're hoping you don't have to get there.
Yeah, and I think adding an extra load on players that don't need to carry the load would be an issue as well. So I think Peak was the glue, the crown jewel of this class, this transfer portal class for Carolina. And I'm feeling it. You're feeling it. The fans are feeling it. The nation of Gamecock Nation is feeling it. I mean, it's sad to see that he has gone down, and the type of injury that he had, the knee, that is an important ligament. You need that to be able to operate as an offensive lineman, left tackle, right tackle, wherever.
South Carolina says that they are confident Peak will be ready to rock and roll in September. And I hope he is. That would be great.
If it's the Alabama game on the road?
Well, again, it depends on what part of September. September's a big month.
Yeah.
There's a
That's
first
5
to the
weeks.
30th. So you're hoping he comes back by the Mississippi State game to open up the SEC season.
To get him a tune up at home.
And you're just hoping he's ready for that.
Yeah.
Perfect world, he's ready to go in the beginning. But if he's got to miss the 2 non-conference cupcakes, okay, fine. You should be able to win without him.
Yep.
But you'd love to have him back for the SEC schedule.
Agreed.
So we'll see where it goes. And again, we hope that's the way it works.
And we hope that there's no more injuries. Knock on wood.
That would be good. That would be good. All right, here's Shane. Let's get cut 11 first. Hiring Matthew Smiley as a special teams coordinator. Cut 11.
Gotcha.
Fired up to add him to our program. Like I said, first of all, I want to thank, Dr. Amaritas, Thad Westbrook, and Jeremiah Donati, Jeff Crane for their support and throughout this process. Extremely supportive, whether it be in any way, to help us get the best person in here to keep this thing rolling. With the opening that we had on special teams, I had about week and a half, 2-week notice. I don't want to say notice, but 2-week inkling maybe is a better word, that we were going to have an opening or could potentially have an opening. So it gave me some time to, do some leg work and get it ground up, researching a lot of people and talking to a lot of people about a lot of people. And in regards to Coach Smiley, who I did not know personally, I just knew of, it's amazing how many people reached out to me that I respect. And again, when I hire a coach, it's not who I get the most references on and who gets the most phone calls, but it was pretty remarkable the number of people that I respect, that I think a lot of, whether it be NFL head coaches, NFL general managers, NFL special teams coordinators, current and former players that have played for him that I know and respect, that reached out to me about him. As I've coached at different places, Georgia, Oklahoma, here most recently, and you have relationships with players that are playing professionally, you can reach out to them. So there was a great resource right here in Columbia, and Patrick DeMarco, who played for Coach Smiley in Buffalo, and what Pat said went a long way.
So yeah, look, you get a lot of good intel on a coach. There's relationships. There's people know this person, people know that person. You get to kind of get an idea of the guy's resume, what he's done. And like I said earlier, in the position South Carolina was in, with Joe DeCamillis going back to the NFL, in where the college hiring cycle was long over, and the NFL, because Clint Kubiak didn't get hired till after the Super Bowl as the head coach of the Raiders, and obviously there was a family connection to Joe DeCamillis with the Kubiaks. Mm-hmm. Boom, there goes Joe D back to the NFL, where, look, he's an NFL guy. He just is. I mean, he was here for 2 years, did solid work, second year better than the first, if you look at the performance of the special teams. But he's an NFL guy, and he went back. And then, I think some folks have talked about, building up enough time to get NFL pension and things, because DeCamillis in the NFL for decades.
Yeah.
So now you're sitting here in February needing a special teams coach. That doesn't happen a lot. So, like we talked about earlier, the idea of getting a guy with this kind of resume in Matthew Smiley at this juncture, I mean, this is to me, this is the best you can do, and you're kind of lucky to find a guy with this resume. And hopefully Smiley will come in and your special teams will be of the quality you expect it to be.
And I think it will. With who he's worked with in the past, 4 years, in the resume that he has beyond what I just said, I think it's a great fit. It feels like a glove fitting on your hand, and it fits perfectly to me from what I'm looking at. But I'm very confident in Coach Smiley, kind of implementing his knowledge on the players and with the special teams. So I like it.
Let's hope it works very, very well. That would be nice. All right, we'll get back in. Here's Shane Beamer. Talk about the Devontae Miles situation. Of course, Miles had the issue getting pulled over, having the bags of, I'll be nice, paraphernalia in the car, a weapon, and Devontae Miles no longer with the team. Shane discusses the situation with Devontae Miles next here on the Postgame Show. Jalen Tart, Terry Ford going till 6 here on the Game Network, and at the Game TV Radio on YouTube. All right, time to take a quick check on the traffic. Few accidents, 2 Notch at Brickyard Road, also Leesburg Road at Fairmont Drive, Killian Road at I-77, also 77 southbound at I-20, that's exit 16, and Cedar Crest Drive near 2 Notch. I did that for the music stations.
Cool.
All right, you'll nail the stuff in here. Just and start with this. Time to check the Schroeder's towing traffic. Just time for the Schroeder's towing traffic report.
Okay.
Just write that down so you'll know it.
I got you.
They're the sponsor of that little traffic report these days. All right, so Shane Beamer talking to the media today, introducing Matthew Smiley as the new special teams coordinator. You heard it here on the game around noon. Shane hopped onto his presser. Let's get to cut 13 here, Jalen. Shane was asked about a couple different things. We talked about the Jacarius Peak injury. Also, Shane defending the 3-on-3 basketball competition that they were doing. Also, talked about hiring Matthew Smiley. Let's get to the Devontae Miles situation. Of course, Miles no longer with the team because of the incident, about a month ago now, I guess.
Yep.
Here is Shane talking about the situation that involved Devontae Miles. Hit it.
Yeah, it was extremely difficult because of how I feel about Devontae as a person and how I care about him, still do, along with every other player on this team. But there's also, expectations and a standard of what's expected in this program on and off the field. And this was a situation where it wasn't being met, and I feel like, he's come a long way in his time here with us, Jack, but that was just an issue that, we have a sign when you walk out of our building each and every day, and when you come in downstairs, don't get tired of doing what's right. And that was just a situation where I felt like standard wasn't being met, and it was best for both of us to move on and wish him well. That was an emotional conversation in my office when I delivered that news to him, and still talk to him. We'll always talk to him. I care about him, and he may not be a member of this program, but I love him and want him to have a great quality of life on and off the field here moving forward, and want to help him in any way that I can. But, I'm also responsible to all the other players on this team and the people in this program to do what's right for the overall program too.
And I get it.
And look, I say this all the time. This is just reality. These situations, obviously, it's the severity of the situation, but two, it's also the player. If Devontae Miles is coming off an all-SEC season, is he let go, or is he disciplined within the football team, or do you do the whole "we're going to let the legal process play itself out" thing? Mm-hmm. That's just real life. Devontae Miles has been a rotational piece at best. And when you always weigh this stuff, you go, okay, what is the benefits he brings us on the field compared to this situation off the field? Mm-hmm. Now, some things obviously are a whole different animal. But in a lot of situations, you'll go, okay, the guy didn't bring us a lot on the field, but what he did off the field, we need to make an example of it. It's just the way it goes. Like, Jimmy Johnson had the best quote on this. They had a running back fall asleep in a meeting when Jimmy Johnson was the head coach in Dallas, and they cut him. Backup running back. Fell asleep in a team meeting. See you, bye. Jimmy was asked in a presser, what if that would have been Emmitt Smith? And Jimmy Johnson went, I'd have got him a pillow. Emmitt Smith is a Hall of Fame running back. He falls asleep. You need a pillow, Emmitt? You comfortable? Backup running back falls asleep. You make an example of him. You can go find other backup running backs. Lawrence Taylor was famous for falling asleep in meetings. You cutting Lawrence Taylor?
Hell no.
No. Now, if that's Terry Ford falling asleep in the meeting, a fifth-string linebacker, Terry Ford's leaving. But Lawrence Taylor can sleep all he wants during a meeting. Mm-hmm. So it's always, first of all, the event. Because if the event goes over a certain line, there's no question, see you, bye. I hate to get rid of you, but I got to get rid of you because that's unacceptable. Mm-hmm. But in other cases, you will look at the player and look at the incident, and sometimes it depends on the quality of player and how important and vital they are to you. Mm-hmm. For this, Devontae Miles, you can set an example. This is not, we're not going to tolerate this type of thing. So now you set an example to the team that this is not the way we do our business, and we don't go about our business this way. And you can set an example. You're not losing a player that's a vital cog in the machine of what you hope is a successful football campaign in 2026.
And I think bringing him back would have kind of like sent the wrong message to the team in terms of the focus of where they're trying to go with what's riding on this season, knowing that this is an important decision and everybody is watching Shane Beamer's every last move. And I think he made the right decision.
You did, because, look, again, this is not going to affect your football team.
Exactly.
On the field. Mm-hmm. But two, and again, I always say you look at the incident. Why are you carrying all that around with you, dude?
Right. And
number
what are
one,
you doing? Like, why?
And number two, I mean, you got a weapon, you got all that paraphernalia. And then, to me, again, because I grew up in Baltimore, I'm like, well, man, if you're trying to do something possibly that's not legal, why would you bring attention to yourself with overly tinted windows?
Right.
Me, man, I'm driving like a family SUV. I'm driving like a minivan, and I'm driving the speed limit, and I'm in the slow lane. And so there's a lot in this to unpack where you go, well, some choices here weren't very smart.
Yeah.
And you're a rotational guy. You're not, a starter. I've got to make an example of this situation. And I would have done the same thing if I was Shane.
Me too.
Love you, man. Hate to see you go, but we got to go in separate directions because, I got a culture here I'm building. And you obviously have stuff you got to work out. So, look, man. There are guys, if you know who Lawrence Phillips is, Lawrence Phillips played for the University of Nebraska, was a phenomenal running back, a first-round pick of the St. Louis Rams. Go look at what Lawrence Phillips did to a girl. They kept him on the team. And they said, well, we disciplined Lawrence within the team and whatever. No. Lawrence Phillips should have been kicked off that team. But because he was Lawrence Phillips, arguably the best back in America, Nebraska kept him. I'm just saying. I'm not saying Shane would have done the same thing. I'm just saying that's what coaches do when you have a high-level player.
Mm-hmm.
What he did
was unacceptable.
Oh, on every level. And Nebraska kept him around.
Wow.
Just saying. But anyway. All right. We'll pop back in here. Let's get a little bit more Matthew Smiley. Let's hear from the new special teams coordinator in our next segment as we roll the post-game show. Terry Ford, Jalen's here. Appreciate you hanging out with us as we go till 6 here on the Game Network, and at the Game TV radio on YouTube.
It's time to check the Schroeder's traffic report here on 107.5 The Game. We have an accident reported on Cedar Crest Drive and Two Notch Road, I-20 at Sunset Boulevard, I-77 at I-20 exit 16, Killian Road at I-77, Leesburg Road near Fairmont Drive, Two Notch Road at Brickyard Road, and Woolston Road at Pine Long Road. We also do have long-term road construction as per usual. If you need to seek an alternative route, please do so immediately. We have more on 107.5 The Game with Jalen Tart and Terry Ford coming up on The Game.
Post-game show. Terry Ford, appreciate you hanging out with us. We go till 6 here on The Game. Been hearing from Shane Beamer, Carolina head football coach, and also Matthew Smiley, the new coordinator, new special teams coordinator. Here on the show, we've been kind of popping you a bunch of different sound through the morning and through the afternoon. What the heck, the morning, man. Don't know what I'm talking about.
It's been a long day.
It's been a long day already. Trust me, it's been a long day already. So Matthew Smiley, again, was in Buffalo 22-24 as a special teams coordinator. Was let go by the Bills after 24. Spent 25 at Penn State with the Nittany Lions, just kind of as an analyst. Got to hang out with his daughter, who was going to Happy Valley. Smiley talked to media today. He's talking about being in the SEC. Let's go with Cut 5. His first opportunity to coach in the Southeastern Conference starts now at South Carolina.
I think it's a phenomenal opportunity. I think that learning about the SEC from the inside as opposed to the years in the NFL, scouting guys and coaching guys on the team, whether it be Jacksonville or Buffalo from the SEC. I'm very, very excited as I learn more and take on the challenge of the stadiums we're going to travel in, home games here, just the atmosphere. And Coach and I talked about this. The atmosphere here on game day is like no other. We had some wild games up in Buffalo, but from what I've heard, from what I've seen on video, and what I'm soon to witness, this is like no other.
Yeah, it's a little different. A little different in the SEC.
And he's pumped up
about it. And he should be. I mean, look, yeah, he was obviously worked in the NFL in Jacksonville and in Buffalo, so he got to work in the league, and that's a cool thing in itself.
I like that he brought up the scouting standpoint in terms of being familiar with the players that he scouted that came from the SEC.
Sure. A lot of these NFL guys, look, a lot of coaching staffs, when you get into the draft process, are breaking down tape and breaking down film of college players. And that way they can sit and they get in the big old meeting rooms and start, okay, Matthew, what do you got on those players? And you'll talk about these players. And somebody else will do this.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of coaches, even coordinators, hell, head coaches will watch film and sit down with the GM and the scouts, and everybody will get in a big, ginormous room and start talking about players for the draft. So, yeah, I mean, Smiley has seen his share of SEC players from that perspective. And now he gets to coach in the league, which is, it's a different thing, man.
Yeah.
Buckle up, Matthew. A little different world. Look, the NFL is phenomenal. I get it.
But it's nothing no other like the SEC.
Well, the SEC is just a different thing, man.
Yeah.
Just a different thing. All right, also, Smiley was talking about the short window he has to prepare before spring practice since he just got hired and spring practice is coming up. Cut 6, Jalen.
The timing is restricted a little bit with spring ball starting next week. One of the really neat things, Joe D is one of my favorite special teams coaches in the business, and he and I have known each other a long time. So even just these last couple days, have had a chance to watch all last season, have had a chance to watch the drills and the stuff that he's installed up to this point. There's a lot of carryover. There certainly will be some changes, but it's it's really a benefit to be able to watch his last 2 years and see the carryover, and even some of the stuff that Coach Lembo was doing. Coach and I talked about a drill an hour ago. He said, here's a good drill, check this out. I said, Coach, Coach Lembo's assistant taught me that drill 10 years ago, 15 years, longer than that, when I was at Eastern Illinois. So there's a lot of connections that make that quicker transition a little easier, but nonetheless, hit the ground running for sure.
Yeah, you got a lot. You got a lot to do in a short period of time.
Yeah.
But the good news is, you're ramping up because you're behind for spring. But once you get to the spring and you get past the spring, and now you got plenty of time till summer camp. So, yes, it's going to be a real quick turnaround for Matthew Smiley going into the spring. But once you get through that, then you can almost take a breath, and now you got plenty of time to get ready for summer.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes, right now, though, you got to – no sleeping, Matthew. No sleeping.
No sleep till Brooklyn.
That's right. Love that tune. Anyway, all right, let's get to one more with Matthew Smiley here
Gotcha.
real quick. Talk about getting to know the let's go to cut two, going back to college after spending so much time in the NFL here recently. Cut two.
Now that the dynamic kickoff exists in the NFL, it's completely different. I only did the inaugural year of that in the NFL, so getting back to Penn State was really getting back to what I was used to with kickoff and kickoff return for sure. Punt return, that was an education that was helpful to be around that.
All right, I mean, basically he's talking about the difference because the NFL has the whole different dynamic kickoff return now.
Yeah.
And by the way, as kooky as it looks, it's worked.
I like it.
It's worked. It really has. NFL field position has improved for offenses, and that's helped like scoring go up this last year.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it looks weird. It was kind of weird in the beginning, but and look, I beat up the NFL over stuff all the time, so I'll give them props when they deserve it.
It's
looks
worked. Organized.
It's worked.
Yeah.
Because it's taken the touchback out because that was such a weapon because these dudes could kick the ball in the parking lot.
Mm-hmm.
So now you're it's more strategic of, okay, I think the touchback now is the 35-yard line instead of the 25. So you got to think, okay, do we want a touchback and give them the ball at 35? Not really. So now all of a sudden the kick returns back into play.
Mm-hmm.
And, with teams returning more kicks and getting better field position, and plus the combination of kickers can now smack 55-yarders opposite-footed.
Mm-hmm.
So now you're getting more points because now, again, better field position, you get a first down or two, you're kicking a field goal if you get stopped. Third is coaches are more aggressive now going forward on fourth down.
Yep.
And that's led to, and the success rate of that's around 50% going forward on fourth down, especially like fourth and short. So if you're making that half the time, these are now opportunities to go score points. So the kickoff return is one of the components that has helped scoring go up because now you've taken that touchback out of play where it's not as, fondly looked at when you're giving teams the ball, I believe the 35. So anyway.
And
it's a different animal. Now you're back in college, though, where you got the regular old stuff again.
Yeah. So now it's like for him to get a year in with Penn State as an analyst to kind of get that, that familiarity again of what you were used to before that rule came in. Now you're coming back to the SEC where it's a little bit more different, where you kind of see a mixture of everything where players kind of do the kneel and take the touchback, or they can just return it depending upon who you kick it to. So, but I'm also interested to see, who would that be that dangerous punt returner would be, knowing that last year was Vicari Swain.
It'll probably be Vicari Swain again. I think Vicari Swain will be returned.
That'll be an interesting, connection to see Smiley work with Swain just to get him, have his play elevated once again from what we saw last year on special teams.
Well, the thing about punt returners, though, is like when Swain returned like 3 kicks in the first month, all of a sudden teams are like, well, we're not letting that guy beat us.
Yeah.
We're going to kick away from him. We're going to make sure we have coverage. We're going to try to, put a lot of air under it so he can't return it. Because that's the one thing. They were doing the best they could to eliminate that weapon.
Mm-hmm.
Because, Swain was ridiculous early in the year last year. And we gave away some money on our special teams contest. All right, real quick. Speaking of rule changes, I want to get this in.
Go ahead.
I don't care about spring football, like the UFL.
No,
spring football leagues.
I don't either.
I don't watch it. I don't care.
Me neither.
Let me get that out of the way now. I have never watched a second of it because, again, I don't care. They are changing rules, though. Here are the rule changes in the United Football League. Field goals of 60 yards or longer will now be worth 4 points, not 3. So if you bang a 60-yarder or 62-yarder, you're getting 4 points. Other rule changes. Teams will not be permitted to punt in the opposing team's territory except for the last 2 minutes of each half. So basically, if you got the ball on the other team's 47-yard line and there's 8 minutes to go,
you have to go for it.
And
you
it's
have to kick a
4th
field
and
goal.
5. Either you try a long field goal, you got to go for it.
Yeah.
I kind of like that. That's
I like
kind
that
of
too.
cool.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool. The tush push has been prohibited. Whatever. I am tush pushed out, man. Look, if people could stop that play, you wouldn't hear a word.
Yeah.
But the fact you can't stop that play drives everybody crazy, and they want to. Here's the best way: forget rules, just stop it. Learn how to stop the play.
Because football is I can't talk, strategic sport. So it's like you have to figure out what the other team's game plan is in terms of stopping it.
It's like we can't stop Patrick Mahomes from throwing bombs. Let's put a rule in: Patrick Mahomes can't throw the ball deep anymore.
Right. I'm like,
Learn how to stop the tush push. It's very simple. I mean, do I like it or not? Doesn't really matter. It's a play. It's a real play, and you can't stop it. I mean, is it a fun play to watch? No, not really. A bunch of grown men are grabbing Jalen Hurts' backside and pushing him forward. Not the most exciting play in football, but it's a play.
Do you think Seattle's defense could stop that?
Yeah, I mean, here's what they should do. You want to stop that play. It's very simple. There used to be a rule up until, 10 years ago. You could not assist an offensive player. Like another player couldn't assist an offensive player. Like you see today, offensive linemen run into a pile and push a running back forward for 5 yards.
Yeah.
That used to be illegal. You want to get rid of the tush push, put that rule back in. Then you couldn't do the tush push because you're assisting a player.
Yep.
That's how you get rid of it. Just saying. I'm here to help. Another rule that the UFL is going to do is just like college, 1 foot in bounds. That's fine.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, so that's something. Let's see what else here. Now, this gets into the weeds. Kicked extra points are coming back. Instead of having the option to convert an offensive scrimmage play from 2, 5, or 10 yards for 1, 2, or 3 points, teams will be given the following options. Kick a 33-yard, basically extra point for 1 point, or 2 or 8-yard offensive play for 2 or 3 points. So you can kick an extra point for a point, or you can go from the 2-yard line for 2 points, or go from the 8-yard line for 3 points.
I get it because it depends upon the outcome of the game, what's going on.
Right?
Yeah.
So let's say you're down. Let's say you score a touchdown, and now you're down 3. You can go for 3 from the 8-yard line.
Mm-hmm.
So I get it. Again, am I going to watch this stuff now?
No,
not at all. But it is interesting. All right. So we'll get back to Shane Beamer talking to the media today and discuss basically what he looks for in hiring a special teams coordinator. Remember, Shane cut his teeth on special teams.
Yes.
So we'll hear what Shane looks for in a special teams coordinator. That's next here on the Postgame Show. JL and Terry, we're hanging until 6 here on the Game Network, and our YouTube channel at the Game TV Radio. Post-game show, Jalen steering the ship, Terry Ford. Appreciate you hanging out with us as we go up until 6 here on the Game Network, and at the Game TV Radio on YouTube. All right, like we've been playing a ton of cuts from Shane Beamer and also the new special teams coach, Matthew Smiley, today. Trying to get you as much as we can so you can hear what was going on in case you missed it at noon. Shane, talking to the media, asked about, obviously Shane Beamer cutting his teeth as a special teams coach coming up. And obviously his dad, Frank, was all about special teams in his time at Virginia Tech. Here is Shane, this is cut 12, his philosophy on hiring special teams coordinators.
There's certain things, terms, things from practice that I would say are kind of non-negotiables, but and we just got done talking about some of them before we came in here. But I believe in hiring good people and letting them coach. He's an established special teams coordinator, knows what he wants, knows how he wants to get it done, just like Pete Limbo and Joe DeCamillis were. It's certainly my background and my baby in a lot of ways. He's going to realize that I'm as a head coach probably more involved with special teams than anybody he's ever worked for, and I love that aspect of it, and I am heavily involved. But I also believe in hiring good people and letting them do their jobs. And he's got his ideas on his system. This isn't Shane Beamer's system that we're running on special teams. It is Matthew Smiley's system. But there are certain things that I feel like are ingrained into the culture here, or certain things that I believe in. That won't change regardless of who the special teams coordinator is, but not as many as you would think. The biggest thing is, I believe in, like Coach just said, putting our offense, defense in great positions, being aggressive. I don't want to ever have a special teams unit that just goes on the field to, check a box and make sure we don't do anything to screw it up. We want to be aggressive and make impactful plays on special teams and be really sound in what we do and play really, really hard. And those would be the main non-negotiables with me.
Yeah, I mean, it's honestly, like we talked about earlier, every play matters. And your special teams is there to help put your offense and defense in the best possible position to start drives. Whether it's giving the offense great field position to start their drive or putting the other team
back at the one.
Yeah, exactly. To help your defense start when they come on the field for a drive. Mm-hmm. That's basically what you're looking at. And, like we said earlier, you want your special teams to help win you games. You never want your special teams to be losing you games. And all these things are the goal of your special teams. Look, if we got spoiled here a few years ago, Pete Limbo's special teams had a year where you got, not only are you doing the basics in coverage units, punt, kickoff, you're not hurting yourself in return units at all. And you're out there with fake punts and fake field goals, and you're doing all sorts of stuff. And that special teams, like 3 years ago now, 4 years ago, was arguably the best special teams in America that year.
Yeah. You had the best punter in the country.
Kai Kroger also at some point was like 10 for 10 in passing or whatever. We were joking for a while he was the best quarterback on the team.
But it was a good when Pete Limbo was at the helm. We knew that the special teams was going to continue to elevate game after game after game, and it was evident that they were making game-winning, game-altering type plays. You've seen that too with Joe DeCamillis, not only with just the field goal units, but the returners, the punting. Like it was a standard for special teams. And I think with the special teams, with Smiley coming in, he knows that there is an expectation of what's to come with this special teams unit going into this season.
I mean, and look, there is a standard here of special teams.
Yes.
And look, are you going to be one of the best in the nation every year? No. But there is a standard here that's where special teams wants to be. They want to be among the best in America.
Because when it comes down to it, if they get into the playoffs and it's a close game, you're going to be relied on your special teams to deliver you to win the game potentially. And it comes down to the preparation and the game experience for the special teams unit. And I think it's going to show this season.
And if you can get your special teams to be a difference maker consistently in the positive, obviously that third unit, which we don't talk about enough, can help you win games. We've seen it in Shane Beamer's time, especially when it was Pete Limbo as a special teams coordinator. So that is what Shane looks for in special teams coaches. And again, Shane will be hovering around the special teams. That's what he does.
Yes.
That's what he does. All right, let's get Matthew Smiley in here real quick, talking about getting to know the specialists, the kickers and the punters and the long snappers and the holders and all the guys who do that kind of work. Matthew Smiley obviously has to get to know them quick. Here's cut one.
I've had a chance to hang out with the specialists the last couple days, and then we're in the process of sitting down each one of them individually, and whether it's some of them with last year's game tape here, or some of them it may be practice tape, or if they came from a different school, sitting down and watching the season with them, so they can learn how I'm talking, I can learn how they're talking, but that process has definitely already started, and it's been real good so far.
Yeah, you got to get to know them quick. And it's different. And look, you have tons of coaches on staffs now.
Yeah.
And it's so specialized. Everything is.
And then you got a transfer kicker, Upton Belafan, from who's really.
I'm gonna tell you what, man. He's very interesting because when he has been kicking, he's made his kicks. He made 80% of his kicks in his career.
Yeah.
So you bring a guy in who's made kicks, and the last couple of years, you've had unproven guys who have been around for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
No offense to either one of them. But now you got a guy that has a track record of being successful. Love as a punter had some really good moments last year.
Mm-hmm.
Swain as a returner.
Then they bring in they signed a long snapper.
Well, you haven't had issues at long snapping or holding.
Mm-mm.
I mean, again, the operation has been good. So you're not walking into a terrible situation as a special teams coach in South Carolina. Just saying. All right. Crescent Construction Grand Slam Contest. It's back. If a Gamecock hitter goes yard with the bases loaded, you can win cash. The pot goes up $25 every game. It's sponsored by Crescent Construction. Go to 1075thegame.com to register. Again, $200 the pot is right now. Go to 1075thegame.com to register. Your next chance to possibly win money tomorrow night. Baseball here on 107.5 The Game in Columbia and our affiliate in Myrtle Beach, 100.3 The Game. 6:15 pregame, 6:30 first pitch. South Carolina taking on Queens. The final tune-up before the Clemson series this coming up weekend. Again, that is tomorrow night. 6:15 coverage gets started. Carolina baseball versus Queens right here on The Game in Columbia and also in Myrtle Beach. 5 o'clock news sponsored by Integrated Media is next here on the postgame show on The Game.
It's time to take the Schroeder's traffic report here on 107.5 The Game. We have an accident reported at Assembly Street, at Rosewood Drive, Clemson Road, at SC 555, at Phil Road, I-20 eastbound at Sunset Boulevard, Killian Road at I-77, Pickens Street at Gervais Street, and you also have a long-term construction as per usual. If you need to seek an alternative route driving home, please do so immediately. We're coming back to the 5 o'clock hour here on the postgame show with Jalen Tart and Terry Ford here on 107.5 The Game.
Five o'clock news sponsored by Integrated Media here on the Game Network. And also at the Game TV radio on YouTube. All right, the Atlanta Braves season's coming up. What, a month and a half-ish?
Yeah.
Well, the Atlanta Braves have announced to the world the way to watch Atlanta Braves baseball this year is Braves Vision.
Interesting name.
Yep, the Braves own it. They will be delivering their content on multiple platforms. Here are the options. Over the air, Gray Media here in town, WIS-TV, and their Palmetto Sports Network will be carrying some Braves games. So you'll be seeing over the air. They're not going to carry every game, but they're going to be carrying games on Gray Media. In-market streaming. Basically, be working with MLB TV. There are no blackouts when you buy it. This is an in-market package only. In other words, if you're blacked out because you lived in the Braves' home broadcast area per the MLB TV regional map, you can use this to get every non-national broadcast Braves game. Because one of the things, like if you live in the market, you can't get the MLB TV package in the market. If you lived outside the market, you could get it. But with this package, this special package, you can go through MLB TV and you can get the Braves, you can stream the Braves games. Anything that's not a national game, that's like on Fox or any of the other national games like TBS, whatever. So that's where that's at. It's $20 per month. And you can go through the baseball season watching the Braves that way. Also, I was looking for this, cable or satellite. Braves Vision is a direct-to-distributor model, so it will work just like Bally Sports or FanDuel used to in this regard. Your current cable satellite provider is currently negotiating with the Braves on fees for adding Braves Vision to their list of channel offerings. If they successfully negotiate, you'll have access to Braves Vision. And remember, everybody's got a different tier of cable, too. If not, you'll have to use another option. Maybe this might end up somewhere else, like having to go through YouTube TV or Hulu or whatever the case. So, yeah, you have to jump through multiple hoops to get this done. Probably the easiest way to do it, you can watch the games on IS, or you can just go get MLB TV and stream the whole thing. It's not a national game.
Yeah.
It's probably your best bet. But the Braves have Braves Vision.
And they did sign a player to a 1-year deal as of
Chris Sale.
Yes.
Now, this was, and I was going to get to that. Chris Sale, who 2 years ago obviously was phenomenal, last season had some injury issues. Chris Sale and the Braves get together on a 1-year deal. 1 year, $27 million extension for Sale. That'll keep him from reaching free agency next winter. Now, Sale will turn 37 on March 30th. Remember, he won the National League Cy Young Award in 2024. Was good in 2025, did have some injury stuff, but was still good. Sale resurrected his career in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he came to the Braves. The Braves got a really team-friendly deal after about 3 injury-plagued seasons in Boston. Popped in Atlanta in 2024, was just unreal. Like I said, won the Cy Young Award. In 2025, only started 20 games, but still good numbers. His ERA was still, 2.58. His whip was 1.07. Struck out way over a batter an inning. Still excellent numbers. Just there was a couple injury issues through the year.
Mm-hmm.
So you bring back Sale, and if Sale can keep throwing anywhere near this level for another season or two, the value you've gotten out of Chris Sale, and really 1 year, $27 million. I always say this about baseball because all the contracts are guaranteed. It's not the annual you pay. I know you want to stay out of the luxury tax and all that stuff. It's the amount of years on a contract that kill you.
Mm-hmm.
If you got a 1-year deal like Chris Sale, 1 year, $27 million, okay, let's just say, all right, so he goes out next year or this coming season, and let's say he's not really good. Okay, you gave him $27 million, but only for 1 year, and now he's off the books. Coming up in 2 years, he won't be a free agent this winter. So let's say in the next 2 years, he's not that great. Okay, it's only 2 years. You move him off the books. It's not like a 5 or 6 or 7 year deal where if a guy is all of a sudden he's injured, all of a sudden he's not the pitcher he used to be, he hits a wall, now you're stuck with like 5 years of guaranteed money you have to pay in some way, shape, or form. So short-term deals where this is an extension, now it's a 2-year deal from what I'm reading, that's not killing you. Long-term deals kill you, especially with pitchers. Because, look, again, pitching, man, you're one throw away from the injured list.
Mm.
So, smart move by the Braves. The Braves are really good at getting guys on team-friendly deals. They just really are. So, basically, the deal was announced today. It tacks 1 year to the current contract and has a $30 million option for 2028 with no buyout. So, basically, you have Chris Sale under control for 2 years. You have a buyout or have no buyout in 2028, and it's a team option. So if Sale throws well this year and 2027, you can bring him back 2028 for $30 million. If he's not pitching the way you would hope he would pitch, you don't have to kick the option. There's no buyout to get out of the deal.
Mm.
So it's a good contract. This year you're going 30. This year you're paying him. Next year you give him $27 million. The following year is a team option. So Chris Sale will be a Brave. You're hoping it 2 years, maybe 3 if he keeps throwing. And he'll be 40, by the way, by the time this goes. So Chris Sale with a 1 year contract extension. The Braves, let's see. I know they beat my Orioles yesterday in exhibition baseball. Let's see if they.
Do we count spring training as like the real deal?
No, spring training. No. Nothing about spring training is a real deal. Braves won today 8-1 over the Tigers, by the way. So I think they're 3-1 in the spring. So, yeah, I mean, no, nothing about the spring. You're just getting ready for the season, man.
Yeah.
All you're doing is loosening up, getting yourself all ready to go and lathered up. But yeah, there's really nothing that tells you a whole lot about spring. So there are some teams that have great springs and suck during the year, and some teams have terrible springs and have great seasons. So there's really not a whole lot to tell you. But the Braves did win 8-1.
Mm.
Yeah.
My Mets tied with the Astros today. So it's 6. So they're 2-1 in spring training, and the Astros are winless still. So,
yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Hate to break the news to you, it doesn't matter. Spring training just doesn't matter at all.
Yeah.
All right, we're hitting the 5 o'clock news sponsored by Integrated Media here on the Game Network. So Kirk Cousins is going to be released by the Atlanta Falcons. That came out today. That Cousins will be let go, to the surprise of no one. The Falcons It's a lot of money for presumably a backup quarterback. Look, the Falcons' quarterback situation is a mess. Michael Penix Jr. was hurt last year. You don't know what's going to happen with him coming back in 2026.
Get a new coach.
Penix was really nothing special.
Yep.
He was rushed in. He shouldn't have been playing when he was. Cousins was still not right after the Achilles. So it just was a mess in Atlanta.
Yeah, and you bring in Kevin Stefanski to try to put out the fire that Raheem Morris kind of had in terms of hopes of rejuvenating the Falcon fan base, the Dirty Birds, and so I think Stefanski is great. It's just a matter of where is the mindset of Penix and where will Kirk Cousins go? I don't know. Cleveland is kind of like just an educated. Cleveland could be a
anybody that's desperate for a quarterback. That's the way it is right now, man.
Yeah.
According to reports, the Falcons restructured. Well, they're not recording reports. This happened in January. The Falcons restructured Cousins' contract, guaranteeing $67.9 million for 2027. That would have vested March 13th, which meant he was going to get let go. The restructure reduces Cousins' 2026 base from a non-guaranteed $35 million to $2.1 million. The deal didn't have any impact on Cousins' guaranteed money. It just split up the existing agreed-upon dollars. So Cousins didn't lose anything. He did a solid for the Falcons regarding the guaranteed money for the cap, but everyone knew he was going to get let go, basically. So this is not a surprise to anybody. Cousins will move on. I saw an interesting stat, and I'm going to see if I can find this really quick, because this is, first of all, I want to give Kirk Cousins a ton of credit. Kirk Cousins gamed the system and made a lot of money. A lot of money. And again, I give him credit because he leveraged the franchise tag multiple times in Washington to get a ton of money, made a lot of money in Minnesota on short-term deals, and then made a lot of money in Atlanta for doing basically nothing. This is here, according to Warren Sharp, who does a really nice job on Warren Sharp football. Most NFL career earnings. Matthew Stafford, $403 million. A Super Bowl champion, and the teams Matthew Stafford played on won 7 playoff games in his career so far. Number 2 on the list is Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers has made $395 million, played on a Super Bowl championship team in Green Bay, and was part of 11 playoff wins in his career. Third is Tom Brady. $333 million. All Tom Brady was part of 7 Super Bowl champions and 35 playoff victories. Fourth on the list, Kirk Cousins. $322 million.
That's a big salary.
Ready? And what you got for that? Kirk Cousins was on one team that won a playoff game. Let's congratulate Kirk Cousins for gaming a system, making $322 million.
Bravo.
And honestly, the thing about Kirk Cousins, to be fair, there are a lot of people that dog Cousins. He was a good quarterback, not a great quarterback.
Yeah, he was pretty solid.
He wasn't a level 1 guy, but he was better than average. He was better than a lot of quarterbacks. He just wasn't as good as what he got paid. Is that fair?
Yes, that's fair. I agree with that.
So because Kirk got paid so much money, you expected a franchise quarterback at a high level, which Kirk Cousins never was.
Yeah.
But Kirk Cousins made a lot of money being a level 2 quarterback.
Yeah, and then when they made the move to get Penix, we was like, okay, he's not the starter. Like I knew that he was not the starter. I mean, even at his time in Minnesota, I personally thought like he was doing really well. Then he got that injury,
blew the Achilles,
that derailed him.
And look, he looked better last year than his first year in Atlanta, but still he wasn't anything special. Was inconsistent. I mean, Kurt's past his prime, and you said it. Some team's going to take him, give it a shot, because they're desperate for a quarterback, and see if he can be Joe Flacco, which is older guy past his prime, but can get on a heater and play well for some games.
He'll be 38 in August of this year, so keep that in mind as well.
And other NFL news, real quick. Kyle Pitts Sr. with the Falcons, tight end, he'll get the franchise tag.
Yeah.
Pitts kind of got his career back going, had an excellent 2025 after some very disappointing seasons. Rookie year was real good, was disappointing for a few years, and he's going to be paid rather well for a year if the team doesn't work out a long-term deal with him, because sometimes you put the tag on someone so you can go negotiate. But that's the deal. And the Dolphins, real quick, their new GM, John Eric Sullivan, said, quote, everything's on the table regarding Tua Tagovailoa. Miami's screwed. They're going to eat a ton of money no matter what if they get rid of Tagovailoa. They're on the hook for a lot of dough. But I like what John Eric Sullivan said about the quarterback position. He said, what we're going to concentrate on first is building a really good team around the quarterback. Then we'll worry about the quarterback.
That's a really good statement.
Bam! I like that guy already because that is logic and common sense.
Yes.
I will come back, give you the Gamecock Notebook. Shane Beamer, in case you missed it, when he talked to the media at noon, discussed the Jacarius Peak situation and their off-season workout program. If you missed that, we'll re-rack it for you during the Gamecock Notebook next, here on the Postgame Show on the Game Network, and at the Game TV Radio on YouTube. go. Gamecock Notebook. Before we get to that, remind you, we do sweet deals at 1075thegame.com. Just go to the website. Right above the little flippy thingy, you'll see sweet deals. You click on that, and it'll take you to all of our sweet deals we do, where you get X amount of percentage of off on things. And our featured sweet deal right now is the Columbia YMCA, 50% off a 6-month membership. It's half off. Just go to, again, 1075thegame.com, click on sweet deals, and you can find that sweet deal, 50% off of a 6-month membership at the Columbia YMCA. So there you go. There you go. Yeah, and they were personal trainers there, like David Ayer.
I was getting ready to say, you can work out half off.
Yeah, it's half off for 6 months. It's a good deal.
Yeah.
I mean, Dave does one of his gyms is the YMCA here in Columbia.
Yeah, and I saw him in the
Dave could spot you. You know, you're on the bench, got a couple plates on each side, maybe pumping 225, and you look around for somebody. You see Dave, hey, man.
Help me out here.
Can you give me a spot?
Yep.
And you get down the bench, you go, I want to get 42 of them. Get ready. Yeah, right.
He will leave after 5.
Yeah, well, Dave would be like, I'm done with you, I'm bored. Anyway, so seriously, the Columbia YMCA, our featured sweet deal, 50% off a 6-month membership, which is a good deal. Go to 1075thegame.com. All right, Gamecock Notebook, in case you weren't listening at noon or at 3 o'clock when we racked this up in the first place, Shane, talking to the media today and introducing Matthew Smiley as a new special teams coordinator, Shane did address the Jakari Peak injury, the lower body injury of Peak, and here's what Shane had to say about Jakari Peak's injury. Cut 9.
We did have an injury last week to Jakarius Peak. Unfortunate, certainly. He will miss spring practice. He will not be fully cleared in the summertime, but we fully anticipate him being ready to roll when September rolls around. He's in great spirits. Just communicated with him before I walked in here, and knows that this is an opportunity for him to be even better as a player, mentally, physically, as we go into the 2026 season. Yes, he did sustain his injury playing basketball, the same 3-on-3 basketball tournament that we've done 3 years in a row now.
Yeah, so basically it's a lower body injury. He sustained it playing, and they're confident he'll be back in September. Again, we talked about this earlier in the show. Just be ready for Mississippi State, man. Be ready for the SEC schedule. If you can do that, that's what he needs.
Yeah.
And that would be the ultimate for Jakarius Peak and South Carolina.
And he's only been here for a month.
Yes.
Which is crazy to say out loud. He's only been here for a month, and he suffered this injury. Just, playing basketball.
It's
bonding
a bummer.
Bonding with it is. And just bonding with your team, which I get the purpose of that, is try to build the chemistry, the connection, just to be close together as a unit off the field so that it can translate on the field. But for this to happen at this time of the, of the offseason, it's a huge blow not only to the team, but just for the fan bases, because a lot of people around the Midlands were really talking very high on Peak's potential.
Well, here's the sad part. Okay, so you have a rough 4-8 season, right?
Yeah.
So you're coming out of that. You fired your offensive coordinator. He's gone. You moved on from him. You fired your offensive line coach. You moved on from him. You got rid of your running backs coach, right?
Mm-hmm.
You moved on from him. So at the end of the day, there's a lot of unknowns. The question was how are you going to fill the holes on this roster through the portal when you got to recruit guys to come in from a 4-8 football team with a coach who a lot of people look as on a hot seat, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that was a lot of unknown coming out of the year. What you did, you got a heck of an offensive coordinator in Kendall Briles.
Yes.
Excellent work by you. You brought in, Stan Drayton, a long-time running backs coach from Penn State. Good for you. You brought in Clements, the offensive line coach, who was with Briles at TCU.
Mm-hmm.
You're feeling really good about momentum. You're bringing all these players through the portal. Peak is one of them. and you're really happy with that and happy with some of the other pieces you brought in from the portal, especially the offensive line. You got an edge pass rusher from Tennessee who you think you increase his snaps, he could probably do damage across from Dylan Stewart. You brought in, a piece in the defensive backfield.
Yeah.
Your linebackers are good. You didn't have to do anything.
Yeah. You brought Sheed in from Kentucky.
Exactly. I love him.
Yes, me too.
I think he's going to be nice at nickel or safety, whichever place he plays. You did bring in a couple wide receivers. Even though you do have some young guys in the receiver room, you brought in some pieces there. You did a lot of things. You go, all right, cool.
We
feeling good.
Great.
For coming off of 4-8, you can't feel much better, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then Pete gets hurt. And all of that goes, whatever. Here we go. The best guy got out of the portal gets hurt. And then you go, like, playing basketball?
Yeah, and then it's that hand on the forehead.
Yes.
Yeah, it's that type of reaction. And it's just like, not this again. Like, really? Basketball?
And that's what you do. You go, why is this guy playing basketball? And you find out that, they're doing a 3-on-3 tournament, competition, whatever. It's part of team building and bonding. Also, it's good cardio, blah, blah, blah. It's a team activity. And now you're going like this. Shane, what the bleep are you doing this?
Right.
And, and so, I get the fan base.
Yeah, I do too.
Because you have no patience anymore because the men's sports here have been so bad now since the end of 2024. You've had enough, and anything just drives you crazy at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. I do. Even though, and we were talking about this earlier. Look, a lot of dudes play pickup basketball in the off season.
Yeah.
A lot of NFL guys, a lot of college football players. Some of those guys were hoopers in high school.
I was about to say, they were former players.
And they're playing and they're hooping. Like I said, over my years of being a goober playing pickup basketball in different places, you have, football players coming in playing pickup, college guys. You get guys who play pro in Europe want to come in and work on their game. I've had guys I played against guys who are track athletes who run like collegiate track who come in and play basketball because they played in high school. So tons of guys do this. It's just, again, bad luck. You want to call it a chicken curse, whatever you want to go, here we go again.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the fan base is like, really? And we're going to get a cut from Shane here in a second. We're going to play. Mm-hmm. But this goes to our Twitter poll we did yesterday. And we'll see if I can get that one. Because we asked the question with the injury to Peak. Poll question of the day. How concerned are you with the Jacarius Peak injury? A, very. Chicken curse. B, mildly concerned. C, not concerned at all. Chicken curse, 51%. Well, very concerned. Because they're like, here we go again. Something's happening.
I'll say this really quick. I see the concern, but this could be a learning lesson for Peak as an individual to see how does he approach this season. It may be a sign to where he's sitting down, going through his rehab, and he's looking at who can I play, who can I gel with on the offensive line, building those connections from a mental standpoint. So I think this could be a blessing in disguise for him to where he can confidently get better mentally as he prepares to transition from the ACC to the SEC. He can learn from these coaches and from the veteran players that's been on the team before him.
Fan base listening to you goes, man, are you glass half full? You are one optimistic cat. But honestly, the other thing is the hope is that he will be ready to go in September.
Yes.
And if he is, and he's ready to rock and roll by Mississippi State, and he plays well, all this is pushed
out
aside.
The window, yes.
No one's talking about basketball tournaments or basketball competitions. No one cares. But here's the deal. If he can't play, and if he doesn't get ramped up, and this thing is worse than anybody thought, and he can't bounce back, then, that craw, that'll be wherever the craw is on your body, because you know that saying, man, it's stuck in my craw.
Yeah.
Wherever the craw is, this will stay in the craw. All right, we'll pop back in. Our drive around the SEC is next here on the Postgame Show on the Game Network and also at YouTube on the Game TV radio.
It's time to check the Schroeder's traffic report here on 107.5 The Game. We have an accident on Clemson Road and Farrell Road, an accident on I-77 northbound and Fort Jackson Boulevard, exit 10, Pickens Street at Gervais Street, and Screaming Eagle Road at McCord's Ferry Road or US 601. We also do have long-term road construction per usual. If you need to seek an alternative route going home, please do so immediately. We'll have more with 25 minutes left here on the postgame show with Jalen Hart and Terry Ford here on 107.5 The Game.
All right, post-game show. Our drive around the SEC. A couple of football posts put up that I want to, it's list season is starting. What the heck? We throw out some lists, talk about some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Brad Crawford from CBS Sports put up a list of potential newcomers to the college football playoff in 2026, sleeper teams to watch, and there's some SEC teams on the list. We'll go through the list, but we'll focus on the SEC squad. Southern Cal's on this list. Just play defense.
Yeah.
Play defense, you got a shot. They brought in TCU, former TCU head coach Gary Patterson, who was a phenomenal defensive coordinator back in his day before becoming a head coach, to be the guy to run the defense. We'll see how that goes, but Southern Cal's on the list. BYU's on the list. They've been really good the last few years, so I can see that out of the Big 12. This one's interesting. Oklahoma State. Eric Morris is coming in from North Texas. Bring his quarterback with him, Drew Mestamaker, and his running back, Caleb Hawkins. Basically bringing a lot of North Texas players. That's... Look, if we... And Brad uses, basically Indiana is an idea of a team nobody expected anything out of, jumping up out of nowhere and shocking the world. And he says maybe Oklahoma State could do that with Eric Morris and the dudes he's brought into Oklahoma State. That's kind of a large leap. Here's the thing really quick. I know we all look at Indiana like we should and say, well, if Indiana can do it, my favorite team should be able to do this. Because Indiana's one of the worst programs in America for years, and then now they just won a national championship.
Yeah.
Here's the one thing Indiana has that nobody else does. Curt Cignetti.
Yep.
This guy is one of one. And he said it when he got hired, and we laughed, but it's true. He said, I win, Google me.
Yeah.
And this dude has won everywhere.
And look what he's did in the offseason.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
You bring in Josh Hoover.
The train is still running, man.
From TCU.
Look, Indiana's putting money into football and resources into football now. They've got a head coach who is phenomenal.
Yep.
Indiana's here to stay, it feels like. But just because Indiana did it doesn't mean automatically you can do it. You got to go find the right coach. Your program's got to invest the money and the resources, and that's the beginning of it.
Yep.
And so anyway, Oklahoma State's on here, which is an interesting one. Some school called South Carolina is on Brad's list.
Dun, 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 dun.
Mm-hmm. And part of it for Brad is like, look, again, you bring in Kendall Briles, who's got a very creative offensive mind.
Yeah.
And Kendall Briles, arguably the best offense he ever ran is when he had a dual-threat quarterback, KJ Jefferson at Arkansas, and a guy just like the skill set Lenore Sellers.
The Rocket.
Sellers a better thrower.
Yes.
So I see where Brad's going here. Because, look, the biggest issue at South Carolina in the Shane Beamer era has been the inconsistency of the offense.
Mm-hmm.
And if Kendall Briles can get the offense cooking, Clayton White's defense is solid like usual, special teams can be solid, all of a sudden you go, okay, this should be a winning record in a bowl game. And if everything plays itself out, who knows what could happen. I see where Brad's going there. Totally do. Louisville's on this list. Jeff Brom is really, he's built a nice program at Louisville, and they'll be a contender in the ACC. Some school called the Florida Gators.
Interesting.
Very interesting. John Summerall did a heck of a job at Tulane. But remember, he did not build Tulane. He took it over, to be fair. Willie Fritz was the guy that really got Tulane.
Yeah.
And John Summerall just took it and got to the college football playoff. He went another level. So Summerall is going to take a talented team at Florida. Yes, there were some transfers, obviously. But Florida never lacks for talent. Summerall is getting handed more talent at Florida than he got handed at Tulane, to be fair. He brings in offensive coordinator Buster Faulkner from Georgia Tech, who did a heck of a job with Haynes King in that offense. Matter of fact, they're bringing in Haynes King's backup, Aaron Philo, to be the starter.
Wow.
So Brad Crawford says Summerall won big at Tulane. He's getting handed a ton of talent at Florida. This guy feels like he's a good head coach, and maybe he can get Florida to the next level where Sunbelt Billy could.
Do you think they'll struggle his first year?
No, I don't think they're going to be wow great. I think they make a bowl game. I think he can win 7 games of Florida and get to a bowl game. I could. We'll see. Look, sometimes guys are really good in like that group of 5, group of 6, whatever we want to call them, but they're not power conference coaches. They're really good in the mid-major. They're not good in the major.
I just don't want him to be the same. I don't want it to be the same effect of what we saw with Bill Napier, where it was a high praise of Bill Napier what he did at Louisiana.
You're right. Billy Napier. We forget what Billy Napier did.
Exactly.
Before he got to Florida.
Right.
That dude was winning double-digit games year in, year out. I say this about Florida all the time. Florida is a job. Look at the 2 guys who have been crazy successful in Florida. Urban Meyer, Steve Spurrier. 2 guys with big egos, 2 guys who didn't take any crap, and 2 guys who were the alpha dogs. That's the kind of head coach you need in Florida. There's a ton of people who want to, be one of the cooks in the kitchen. There's a lot of people that want to interfere. A lot of people want their foot in the door, so to speak. But with Spurrier and with Meyer, they said, get out of my kitchen. It's my kitchen.
Right.
Get out. Those guys were Teflon in a way in how they handled all that stuff because they had big egos and they were alpha dogs. Mm-hmm. That's the kind of guy you need at Florida. Can Summerall do that? We're going to find out. Billy Napier never had the personality to be successful. I think Billy Napier could go in another Power 4 team and go be successful. Mm-hmm. Like a place like Virginia. Somewhere like that. Billy Napier could go and win games and be successful. I just don't think Billy Napier's personality fit Florida.
Agreed.
That's just me. You need a guy who can put up with all that stuff that happens in Gainesville.
Yep.
All right, another one really quick. On 3, their final transfer portal class rankings of the offseason, some of the SEC squads in here. Indiana was number 1, like you talked about with what Indiana brought in the portal. LSU is 2. Texas A&M is 4. Arkansas sitting at 7. Texas at 10. Florida at 12. Mississippi State at 13. Vanderbilt at 17. Ole Miss at 18. And Tennessee at 24, Oklahoma 25. South Carolina did not make it. They've been in between 20 and 25 on some of these lists. They did not make this list, though.
Arkansas being on this list is interesting with them bringing in Silverfield as their coach.
We're going to see what Silverfield is. Another guy that didn't build it. This guy did not build Memphis. He took over a successful program when Justin Fuente went off to Virginia Tech. Mm-hmm. And Mike Norvell handed it to Justin Fuente when Mike Norvell went to Florida State. Memphis has been good for a minute.
Yeah.
So Silverfield didn't build it. He's going to be asked to build at Arkansas. We don't know if this guy is a program builder or not. We're going to find out. But he did good. He did good in the portal, top 10 portal class, so according to On 3. So that's our drive around the SEC. We'll come back, take a little bit look at the wagering angle for tonight in the SEC. Don't forget South Carolina, Florida tonight from CLA. 6:30 pregame, 7 o'clock tip. You can hear it here on the Game in Columbia and our affiliate in Myrtle Beach.
Kentucky.
What did I say?
Florida.
Good God, Florida on my brain.
We were talking about
Kentucky's coming in. Kentucky's lost 3 straight. And if Kentucky loses this game to South Carolina...
Did you see the Mark?
Fan base is going to lose its mind.
Man, listen.
I'll be honest with you. Mark Pope's going to need somebody to start his car if they lose to South Carolina.
I'll say this really quick. Kentucky has had hot and cold games here in Columbia the last few years.
Yeah, Lamont Paris has been sort of successful against Kentucky. So we'll see what happens. Again, 6:30 pregame, 7 o'clock tip. We'll look at those games in the SEC tonight from the wagering angle and wrap up the postgame show next. Terry Ford, Jalen Tart, we go till 6 here on the Game. and the Game Network, and at the Game TV Radio on YouTube. All right, we'll jump in here. Look at the games in the SEC from a wagering angle tonight. So go ahead and hit our Who Wants to Be a Millionaire music there.
Let's
Jalen,
get right
we'll get into
it.
First of all, last night, man, I went against the trends and got crushed.
I didn't watch no games last night.
Houston had lost 2 in a row. Houston had not lost 3 straight since 2017.
Did they win?
Yes, Kansas is undefeated on Big Monday with Bill Self as a head coach. He had 2 trends sitting there. I went with, I just can't see Houston losing 3 straight. And guess what? Houston lost 3 straight. Kansas stomped Houston last night. Houston was up. Houston led that game for the first 14, 15 minutes. And after that, Kansas just took over.
And then it's all just talk about Darren Peterson. And
Well, I'll say this about Darren Peterson. And look, Jay Billis, I don't have time to play the cut today. Maybe I'll play it tomorrow. Jay Billis talked about, if this kid truly wanted to not play because he's protecting himself for the NBA draft, he would just quit and sit out the rest of the season. I understand what Jay Billis is saying in theory, but would that help him or hurt him in his draft stock? Some teams it might not matter, and some teams it might saying you shut her down because your hamstring or whatever. Some teams don't understand. Some teams will go, well, you are playing, you're not playing. You are playing, you're not playing. So it might bother some teams. And the other part is, yes, he didn't have any issues in high school with this kind of stuff, but now he's one step away from the NBA. And I'm no one saying he doesn't have a legit something. But here's the thing. It looks like, in perception, that whatever you got going on you're obviously protecting yourself for the NBA draft. That's what
Yeah.
it feels like. Now, could we be wrong? Sure.
Sure, yeah.
This kid doesn't really talk to the media.
He's
And
very
that's-
quiet,
And
yeah.
that's another thing. Look, first of all, if I loved his game as an NBA exec, I don't care if he's talking to the media or not, I'm taking him.
Yeah, because of
Again,
his talent.
He's
that
talented.
good.
He's 18 or 19 years old. He's a young guy. Obviously, he's not into talking to the media. But the problem is when you don't talk and you got all this stuff swirling around you, now you're leaving all these
Question marks
out there for people to say things. So point being is, Peterson to me, and I said this yesterday, until we get more information, and maybe we never will, until we get more information, it feels like this kid is just coasting along to get to the NBA draft. That's what it looks like. Bill Self is frustrated. We saw him in a presser a few days ago, frustrated. So if this kid is not sitting down saying, look, I've got a hamstring injury, it comes and goes, I'm trying to play on it the best I can, then you go like this, okay.
Yeah.
And if Bill Self even said it, I mean, Bill Self's not being very upfront. If the kid was sick one night and didn't play,
I get that.
well, it depends on, we don't know the level of sick, right? We
Yeah.
don't know. I mean, if you got 102 fever, don't play, man, right?
Don't.
But if you're at 98.8, I don't know, maybe you got that thing out. So again, there's so many unknowns. But I've said this from what I see. Give me A.J. DeBanster or give me Cam Boozer over this kid, because those guys, they show they want to win. They're out there playing and grinding.
Caleb Wilson's another one that.
He's another one that wants to win.
Yeah.
He played. Did you see him on the bench cheering last night for his
Yeah.
team? I mean, look, if this is a year where Peterson was far and away the most talented player in the draft, I get a team rolling the dice and saying, all this stuff is whatever. We're going to take him anyway because he's so talented, and hopefully he's so young. And as he grows up and develops and matures, we'll get an alpha dog type player who's really good.
I got Cam Boozer number one.
Right now, you've got Cam Boozer, you got DeBanster. But look, if Peterson's more talented than them, it's not by much.
Yeah.
But those guys, first of all, their all-around games are better. They pass. They do stuff to help their team win. If they're not scoring. They're consistently better on defense. And those guys, they show it on the court. They're out there to win.
Yeah.
I'll take either one of those dudes over Peterson right now. Now, again, it's just from what I see and what I don't see and what you hear and what you don't hear.
Mm-hmm.
So
And
I'm open to hearing more on Peterson. I'm not, again, give me more stuff to let me know what's going on with this kid. Everything's a big cloudy mystery.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Also, last night, Louisville lost like 14 straight road games. North Carolina's undefeated in Chapel Hill. But I was like, no Caleb Wilson. Louisville is a good team. Eventually, Louisville's going to win a road game. Eventually, North Carolina's going to lose at home. Last night, Seth Trimble went crazy last night.
Insane.
If Seth Trimble could hit free throws, he might have had almost 40 last night. Seth Trimble was phenomenal.
Missing
last
5
night.
shots from the floor, 11 to 16 from the
He was
floor.
so good.
So good.
So good last night. So I went 0 for 2. All right, tonight we're going to go like this.
Okay.
Oklahoma's at home. Auburn's coming in. Auburn broke a long losing streak by beating Kentucky in their last game. Oklahoma broke a long losing streak by winning 2 straight, but now they've lost 2 straight.
Right.
Auburn minus 2.5 in Norman. Auburn's better. Oklahoma's struggling and scuffling. I think Porter Moses is a better coach than Stephen Pearl.
Me too. Yep.
But you know what? I'm going to take Oklahoma to win.
I'll take Auburn.
Because I just, Auburn is so screwy this year, they make no sense.
I think with the win that they had, the emotional win that they had.
Yeah, but you know what? They went on a nice little run and lost 7 in a row.
Yeah.
I don't buy into Stephen Pearl.
And some can say that the offensive foul call is controversial, but
yeah. I will take Oklahoma at home against a Jekyll and Hyde Auburn team.
Okay.
And Auburn's given 2.5. Missouri hosting Tennessee. Tennessee's on a heater, man. They've like won 11 to 13. You know the only team to beat Tennessee on this heater? Kentucky has beat them twice.
Wow.
Tennessee's playing really well. Missouri is hot and cold. I don't care if the game is at Mizzou. I'll take Tennessee and I'll give 2.5 to Missouri.
Fair. I got Tennessee.
Kentucky giving 6.5 to South Carolina at CLA. Kentucky's in a bad mood. Carolina is coming off a nice win over a bad Mississippi State team at home.
Which I'm still kind of surprised.
You know what? I hope South Carolina wins this game for many reasons.
Me too.
But I'm going to take Kentucky to cover the 6.5.
I got Carolina on the upset.
I hope so. Because they played. Look, Lamont he's done all right against Kentucky. So that's where we're at.
But when they're angry,
Kentucky's got to win.
yeah.
They flat out have to win. They're pushing themselves onto an NCAA tournament bubble they might not get over on. They can't lose to one of the worst teams in the SEC. They just can't tonight. They need a level of desperation tonight.
If the CLA does not get packed for this specific...
Here, can I tell you something real quick?
Go ahead.
How many Kentucky fans? If that's a Kentucky home game, that's going to be an awful look tonight.
Oh, God. And they lose that.
They travel. Kentucky fans travel.
Yeah.
And if they got upset by South Carolina...
Oh, boy.
And by the way, what does that mean if you're Jeremiah Donati and you're sitting at this game and it's a Kentucky home game in your barn?
And you win.
Oh, no, I'm just saying.
Oh, yeah.
That's not a good look.
That's not, yeah, no.
It's not a good look.
You're saying blue
when another
bleeding
team
into
takes
red?
over your arena. Never a good look. All right, Jalen, nice work, my friend. Good job.
Thank you.
Appreciate you for hanging out with us today. Appreciate Shane Beamer, Matthew Smiley for the presser earlier that we played you a ton of cuts of. We'll be back again tomorrow doing this again at 3 o'clock. Again tonight, Carolina basketball, 6:30 pregame, 7 o'clock tip from CLA. Hosting Kentucky. You can hear it right here on the Game in Columbia and our affiliate in Myrtle Beach. Have a good night. Talk to you later. See you.
This is your final Schroeder's Towing traffic report. As we issued traffic reports on an accident on I-77 northbound at Fort Jackson Boulevard, I-77 northbound at I-20 exit 16, Park Street at Gervais Street, and Screaming Eagle Road at McCourt's Ferry Road via US 601. We still have long-term road construction going on, so if you need to get home and need to seek an alternative route, please do so immediately. Hope everyone has a great Tuesday evening, safe travels, and be sure to be kind to one another. Take care, everyone.